Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I made this top for a concert the night before, so as you can see, it's really simple, very quick to make, and depending on what type of fabric, you can have it be really dressy or really casual. Here I used a chain as the strap. In other clips, I switch it out to match the rest of the fabric of the top. You can dress it up with a skirt, or you can dress it down with some jeans and some sneakers. It's super versatile, very simple, and if you would like to see how I made it, keep on watching. The pattern for this top is a rectangle. So the height of how tall you make your rectangle decides how long your top will be. I made mine 7 inches long because I wanted it to be a crop top, and I made mine 17 inches wide because that was enough fabric to cover my chest, plus 1 centimeter seam allowance all around. And here is the beautiful sparkly fabric that I decided to use for today's video. Thumbs up if you remember what video this is from. I cut out my pattern. I cut out 1 layer of sparkle fabric and 1 layer of black lining fabric. I'm gonna pin all around the edges, leaving a gap in the middle of our rectangle so that once it is all sewn up, we can flip it right side up. Like I said, this top has become my staple. I've made this top about 3 times now, and even though I am working with stretch fabric, because this design doesn't depend on the top actually needing to be stretchy, I went ahead and I sewed most of the edges with a straight stitch. Like I said, none of the seams are gonna pop because the top isn't relying on the actual stretch. It's not holding anything really. But it's depending on you. If you feel more comfortable sewing with a straight stitch all around, go ahead. Once all sides are sewn, I went ahead and clipped all 4 corners of the rectangle. And this is to help the corners of the top lay more crisp when we flip it out. I'll be using some scissors to poke out the corners. And because we clipped and reduced the bulk in the corners, they're gonna lie more flat and look more crisp and clean. And here is my attempt at trying to show you guys how I close the gap using a ladder stitch. And I did try my best to show you guys a little bit of how I did this ladder stitch in case you don't know what that is. But I will definitely leave a more useful video because the angle that I got is out of frame. So I will be putting that in the description if you guys need it. Once that is done, I'm going to be sewing what is basically a top stitch on the sides of our top. And I will be doing this a little bit bigger than a centimeter. At this point, I eyeball it and I rip open either side of that top edge to create the channel for where our straps will go. And here I'm taking 3 1-inch wide strips and connecting them together using the same method you would use to create a continuous bias tape. Like I said, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link a video down below for my beginners out there. But I'm just connecting them diagonally like this so that when I unfold them, they will create a continuous strip. And I'm doing all of this using a straight stitch on my machine. I like using this method a lot because it Helps me reduce a lot of waste because I can piece together scraps or just not have to cut really long strips. So I'm just clipping the edges, and you can see once they're unfolded, it's a long strip. And after I'm done, I'm sewing down the opening of the tube to create our long tie for our top, all using a straight stitch. And in case I haven't said it, I'm using a knit foot like always. A knit foot is almost the same thing as a walking foot. It helps with silks, it helps with stretchy fabric, and it's my sewing foot of choice when it comes to anything that stretches. It just holds the fabric down easier, and I'm just gonna sew all the way down my tube. Once that is done, I'm gonna take my loop turner and flip it right side out. And here's me trying to demonstrate what a loop turner is with my beauty guru thing of trying to focus the camera to show off the hook. If you don't have a loop turner, you could obviously use a safety pin. I'm just trying to like practice using a loop turner as much as I can because it took me way too long to figure out how to use one. So I'm just sliding down my fabric strap until I reach the end to hook it and flip it right side out, because I know how to do that now. And as seen in the beginning, if you don't feel like making a fabric tie for this top, you could use some ribbon. You could use chain. You could even try using a long necklace. The possibilities are endless, but I'm just putting my loop turner through and feeding my strap through the channel we've created. Like I said, if you're gonna do this with chain, a necklace, anything, same method. You could do it with a safety pin or just feed it through manually with your hands. But once that is done, the top is done. See how simple it is? See how many different looks you can get out of it? It's awesome. I love this top. I will not stop wearing this top. Yeah, I'm kind of proud because this was supposed to be an entirely different design, and I like this so much better. For any returning subscribers, thank you for staying subscribed and joining me for this video. If you create it, please tag me in it. Please consider subscribing. I will try to be more consistent because I honestly miss posting YouTube videos. Thank you as always. I hope you have a great one. Bye.